It is time. So this is the Infinite Game, and I talk about alternative investments, and I am going to be talking about NBA cards. Obviously, the market is going down, except for a handful of players, and the market is just really correcting itself. And really, I'm going to be talking about the worst possible players really to be investing in, especially long term, because we see what they are, and I don't think they're going to be that relevant to really hold on to long term or have much value. And some may end up becoming Hall of Famers, but they're going to be more like maybe a Chris Webber type Hall of Famer or Ben Wallace type Hall of Famer. Versus someone that you think is going to be top 50 all time, because nobody's going to care. And honestly, I can really get into, it used to be top 25 all time had value. Now it's getting more into people who are top 50 that have value as far as the growth. Really, it's top 15 to be honest with you. Top 20, top 15, top 20. But the biggest one is Ben Simmons. If you've been watching the playoffs, like, Ben Simmons is the worst possible investment you can have. One, he can't shoot, so his upside is limited, and his cards are severely overpriced. Even if them going down, they're severely overpriced. Don't buy Ben Simmons anything. If you have him, you might want to just go ahead and sell him and take the loss. Like, here's the issue. If he gets traded to a team like Golden State Warriors, he's playing with Clay, Curry, takes Draymond Green's role. Draymond Green is gone somewhere, and have another guy who can become a star. Yeah, I think he can recover, he can do well. His issue is he's actually right hand dominant, but he shoots with his left hand. And he's gonna have to switch hands to actually learn how to shoot. Because I think he's like a 16% 3-point shooter, something ridiculous and sad. That's the issue that he has. Averaging 12.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. Okay, you're a starter. You're not really a star. His liability is shooting. If you're shooting 33% from field goal range, 50%, you're just not dangerous. The reason why Magic Johnson was so dangerous, especially later in his career, because he was scoring more, because they got to worry about him scoring, but it makes his playmaking easier. He isn't scoring in basketball. The objective is make buckets, just make buckets. That's really what it is. I don't care if you have RPA, I don't care if it's National Treasures, Immaculate, whatever, 101. I would be buying Ben Simmons. It's really, really sad the way he's being exposed, but I wouldn't mess with Ben Simmons at all. I think it's really about situation, and maybe if he gets on a different team, different situation, 3 years from now, he can shock people. But as of now, I don't see him making all NBA teams in the future. And he may still make all-star teams, but it's kind of up in the air. We'll see. Next is Miles Turner. He's a big man, defensive guy. Even if he has good games, he's not worth investing in. The next one's Collin Sexton. He only has 2 to 4 assists per game. He's kind of like Lou Williams. He's not worth an investment long term. Jared Allen, he's getting better. Has some exciting blocks, not worth it. Center. John Collins, power forward. He has great numbers. He looks like an all-star. He'll probably make some all-star games. He might be good to invest in during the offseason at the bottom. Maybe his cards go up a little bit. He makes the all-star team. Maybe the Hawks re-sign him. I think that'd be a mistake. I think they should sign and trade him. He is somebody people are going to waste a lot of money on long term. He's not a long-term star. I think people almost compared him to Kevin Garnett. He's not that. And the Hawks are doing well. They may win a championship. If you want to gamble, maybe, but he's not going to be top 50 all time or even top 60. He's not going to be debated in that. DeJounte Murray is another one. I think short-term DeJounte Murray may not be a bad idea, but he's a defensive guy. Last year just came back from injury. He's going to be better. He may become a star, but I doubt it. He's a really good player. I think he'll be a very good player, but not worth putting money into. No surprise, DeAndre Ayton. His cards are cheap, but he's a center. These guys don't have value like that. He doesn't have the personality either. The only center that I think is really worth investing in is Joel Embiid that's currently playing, and maybe Nikola Jokic, especially like his select silver. There's only like 10 to 13 of them that exist. That's something to keep long term. But I would stay away from DeAndre Ayton as well. He's not worth it. I don't think he's worth it. I would say Brandon Ingram. Short term, I think he's good because no one's thinking about him. He does play well, he shoots well, but he doesn't play defense. He is getting better for playmaking, but he's just very thin, and I think he has a limited ceiling. I think he's pretty much reaching his potential now. And he's just not the type of player that's really going to contribute to winning. Maybe he's the third best guy on the championship team, but I think that's really the best that you're going to get with him. Next is Bam Adebayo. I think he's going to get better, great defense. He has to learn how to shoot. Unless he really learns how to shoot, he's a waste of time. Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell played phenomenal. The only way I would say is Donovan Mitchell is on... Even if he's the second best guy on the team, he needs to win like 4 or 5 championships. I mean, he's great. People compare him to Dwayne Wade. Maybe he could be that, but it's very hard. You got to play with a Shaq, and then you got to play with LeBron to win championships. He's not really a guy I see winning the MVP unless a bunch of people get hurt, which is possible because the offseason is really going to be short for a lot of teams. Especially teams that go to the finals. The teams that end up in the finals, I probably would be investing in them and holding them during the season because there's going to be injuries and things such as that. Probably teams that got out first are probably better teams to invest in. Next is Mikal Bridges. I think Mikal Bridges is a really good player. He's kind of coming on strong as of late. I will stay away from him. And if the Phoenix Suns wins championship, buy him. If you think they're going to win a championship, buy him. But he's a great role player, probably a good starter in the future. But he just came in late, and he didn't really develop and showing me really actual star player. He does look good, but the Phoenix team is pretty good as a whole. Long term, he's a waste of time. The other one is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is amazing. I think he's overlooked. I think he's probably a smart buy now because no one's thinking about him, talking about him. I've really been looking at his cards, but you can buy serial numbered Prism or Select. Those cards are a really good idea to buy, but I wouldn't waste my time with Jamal Murray. He has an injury. He's going to come back. I think he's going to come back in the end of the season. And I think the Denver Nuggets are going to still have some troubles. Michael Porter Jr. will be better, but he's still not there yet. But I would just stay away from Jamal Murray because I think he'll be good, and maybe he'll develop into a star, but the people used to think he'd be the next Kobe Bryant. He's not going to be that, not even close. He plays very well in playoff games and big games. I think, one, because his meditation routine. He's just very calm and very focused in big games. And big games, flipping, playoff games, great investment. But long term, he's not. He is so far behind where he needs to be. Another one is Sabonis, who plays for the Pacers. The caveat is if he gets traded to another team and he plays very well. Next, I would say a couple other guys I would definitely be wary of that a lot of people are going to put money into. Jaylen Brown. He's a really, really good player, but I think he's starting to reach his potential, and really where his improvement is going to come from is from his playmaking ability. The next person is Jason Tatum. Even though he plays amazing, Jason Tatum has some major flaws. And one of them, I don't think he's actually going to be able to I don't know if he's going to be able to fix this. He has small hands. He's a big guy with small hands. He has a better chance than many other people. And honestly, if you want to say top 5 people you need to invest in, he's probably number 2. I'll put him over Zion because Zion can't shoot. But I would say be very careful. You know, maybe the opposite. Short term, not the best thing to invest in, but long term, I think Jason Tatum can really surprise people and do well. But the Boston Celtics are in a very tough position and trying to make moves to try to fix their situation. Right now, it looks bleak. But yeah, those would be some hot takes on players I would just stay away from. I would seriously stay away from. There's some other people that I don't see much in, like LaMelo Ball, but I think it's a little too early to say. Ja Morant, the only issue is pop count, but I think he's going to be amazing. He may be an MVP. Aaron Fox is really coming into his own, but he plays for Sacramento, and they're a trash franchise. Michael Porter Jr., I think he's going to be the next Joe Johnson, but if he's on a championship team and he's doing extremely well, second best option. I think he's going to get traded, though, and he's going to get his own team, and I think he's going to be going off. I think that's going to help him. Long term, I don't think he's necessarily worth it. I think shorter term, he's going to come to his own, be a star, maybe become a superstar. But that's really the best you're going to see. You want to have high serial number of stuff for his as well. Lonzo Ball, I think he may actually surprise people and become a star. We'll see. He did get better and is very silent, but he does have upside. And I would actually stay away from Zion. I know people really love Zion, but if he wants to be one of the greatest ever, he's going to have to pay point guard, shooting guard, or small forward. I think he needs to stay away from center and power forward position. And he has to develop a jump shot, period. Giannis is somewhat developing some kind of shot, but Zion he's not Ben Simmons, but he's not even on Giannis's level yet. So that's something he's going to have to really fix. But yeah, so that's my hot takes on players. Most of these players were 25 and under. I think a lot of people are going to lose money on all these players I mentioned. And listen, I got a Michael Porter Jr. card, a BGS 10, serial number refractor. But yeah, that's all I have. So please like, comment, and subscribe.